Man, I don't know, man. Man, just hand us all some flags. Hand us all some flags and let us go out there and try to grab the flags off. Because we're not playing football. This is not damn football. When I was 6 years old, watching Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, that Sean Taylor, the hitters, Jack Tatum, that's football. This ain't football. You got to know what the risk is when you sign up. No one wants to be paralyzed. No one wants to have head injuries. These are all things that are negative. But let's not try to turn football into a dangerous, barbaric game. This is how I've changed my family legacy. Before I got drafted, I had $368 to my bank account. That is far from the case today. I've changed my family legacy by this beautiful game of football for forever. So let's not try to turn it into some evil, dirty game. It's football. It's no different than UFC fighting. This is a combat, contact sport. There's going to be injuries. That's just what it is. But if you don't want to get injured, then don't come out here. This is for real men. This is a man's game. Ray Lewis said that a couple years ago. I stand by that. It's a man's game. If you want to be a little kid, you don't want to get your ass hit, then don't come out here because this is for grown men. Straight like that.
That was Steelers safety Mike Mitchell from December of 2017 when the media asked Mitchell questions related to the league's rules on players and head-related injuries in football. My name is Nick Ciamera, and welcome to another episode of Controlled Chaos. It is Wednesday, July 18th. Football season is so close I can taste it, and that is exactly why I started this episode with that speech. In these past few seasons, along with kickoff, we've had topics such as the effects of concussions and political issues come up consistently, like when players started to kneel to protest Trump, social injustices, inequality, and police brutality. I'm pretty goddamn tired of it all, especially the talk about concussions. I completely agree with Mike Mitchell and everything he said in that YouTube clip. Essentially, play football at your own risk, period. I understand what years of research has exposed and what the NFL has been trying to hide from the public for years, which is a whole nother problem, but I'm not going to get into that. What I want to talk about is people who want to badmouth the game of football. Not the NFL, just the game of football. It is a violent game. Some players will suffer injuries that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. Some players will only play 4 years or so and get rich, then be done. Few are the best in the world and go on to win championships or enter the Hall of Fame. All of these guys have something in common besides football. They all know it's dangerous. So when August comes around, I don't want to hear about concussions. It's like eating fast food with someone who talks about how unhealthy or gross your food is. Like, yep, thanks asshole, I don't live under a rock, I realize that. Anyway, another point Mitchell makes is how backwards the rules on hitting a so-called defenseless receiver are. Helmet-to-helmet hits and intentionally targeting other players in the head and neck area. I understand how wrong that is and the kind of damage that can be done, but the plays where a safety, let's say Mike Mitchell, comes across the secondary and nails AJ Green. Mitchell leads with his shoulder and directly hits Green right above the numbers on his jersey. In this league today, that's a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. When that's how these players, including myself, were taught how to tackle another player. And, if I was Mike Mitchell, then I would feel the same exact way. And I'm sure many other defensive players feel the same way. Alright, so the biggest news of the week was definitely this past Monday, which was the deadline for signing franchise-tagged players like Le'Veon Bell to a contract extension. But once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Bell could not agree to a deal that they both wanted. Lots of fans, including myself, speculate that this could be Bell's last year on the Steelers roster. On Monday, Bell tweeted, quote, "To all my Steeler fans, my desire always has been to retire a Steeler. Both sides worked extremely hard today to make that happen. But the NFL is a hard business at times. To the fans that had hope, I'm sorry we let you down, but trust me, 2018 will be my best season to date," end quote. This has got me all mixed up because I like Le'Veon Bell. He helped me win one of my 2 fantasy football championships last season. He's the best running back in the NFL in my opinion, and he fits so well in that loaded Steelers offense. But I am a diehard Ravens fan, so, what better way to get revenge on the team that wouldn't pay you than to play for the Ravens? Come on, hop sides in the biggest rivalry in football. Yeah, that's never happening. But there's a great chance he winds up in a new uniform in 2019, because I don't see Pittsburgh trading him mid-season or giving him the contract he thinks he deserves. They offered him 5 years, $70 million, and he turned it down because he thinks he deserves more. And, I get that. He's clearly the number one running back in the Steelers' backfield and the best running back in the league, if not Todd Gurley. So, I can understand why he wants to be the top paid player. It's not all about the money. It's about being the best at your game and making the most. There's something to say about that. In my opinion, I think Bell should have taken the money because, like he said in his tweet, he wants to retire a Steeler. Pittsburgh has always set an incredible example of what a winning franchise should look like. However, I think this was a mistake on both parts. Like I said, Bell should have taken the money. But Pittsburgh's got Le'Veon Bell right in front of them, who has shown that he can rush 30 times a game, catch 5 to 10 balls a game, and consistently do that throughout a season. I don't understand why you don't offer him a couple more mils. I think it's kind of petty on both sides. Bell's been there so long, you'd think they would give him the money he wants. So I'm kind of mixed up about this. Alright, so this August, former 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, Bills, and Bengals Hall of Fame wide receiver Terrell Owens finally got into the Hall of Fame after 3 years of being snubbed. So, shocker, T.O. took it personally, and now he has decided to not attend the ceremony or take any part in the Hall of Fame celebration at Canton, Ohio, where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is located. Instead, he will give his Hall of Fame speech at his alma mater, the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Since Owens announced this event, the Pro Football Hall of Fame has decided that they will not recognize Terrell Owens during enshrinement weekend, since they've got their old traditional panties in a bunch. To me, this is petty by T.O. and petty by the Hall of Fame. It's like T.O. thinks he's the only non-first ballot Hall of Famer. This is how it works. I think the process is dumb too. The fact that there were NFL analysts who were unsure about whether or not LaDainian Tomlinson should be a first ballot Hall of Famer was completely idiotic. While I think it's dumb and tedious, I also understand that some of these decisions are tough, because I know if you took 5 different NFL analysts from 5 different networks, or 5 from the same network, let's just say NFL Network, and asked them each individually what they think it takes to become a Hall of Famer, I guarantee they would all give at least slightly different answers. Even though not all NFL analysts have a say in who gets nominated for the Hall of Fame, I was just trying to prove a point among what football heads like me would say. So the last thing I'll say about this topic is the Hall of Fame pulled a serious Donald Trump move by planning to not recognize T.O. since he declined their invitation. To be clear, T.O. is in the Hall of Fame. He just won't have his name mentioned. Consider your Hall of Fame invitation withdrawn. Close enough, right? In other news, less than a week ago, Tennessee Titans running back DeMarco Murray has announced his retirement, which is a shame. Back in 2014, Murray finally showed that he is a top running back in this league, totaling 1,845 rushing yards off 392 carries, along with 13 touchdowns and 416 receiving yards. This was by far his best season, and after that it was mostly downhill. He was a part of the Eagles' disaster team in 2015, where Chip Kelly took one too many risks, giving up Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and LaShawn McCoy at the height of their potentials. Then Murray went to the Titans for 2 seasons and had a couple decent years sharing the backfield with Derrick Henry. But now it seems as though Murray has played long enough and is tired of getting hurt. It's been a pleasure to watch DeMarco Murray, so best wishes to you, my man, and enjoy a never-ending offseason without practice. Alright, so another player talking about retirement is Philadelphia Eagles running back Darren Sproles. Sproles has confirmed that he would like to retire after next season. Last season, Sproles broke his arm in the Week 3 match against the New York Giants. But he's coming back. Dude might look like a small, speedy guy, and that's it. But Sproles is a fearless, one-of-a-kind talent in this league, and he will certainly be missed after next season. But who knows? Brett Favre said he was going to retire a Packer, then wound up on the Vikings and the Jets. So, who knows? I think he would have retired this year if his team wasn't so good. I'm sure he's dying to play in a championship, and this Eagles team could go back-to-back with all the talent they have on both sides of the ball. They definitely have the support of their fan base too. I mean, they had a fucking street in Philly blocked off so Eagles fans could relive the best day of their lives and, black out by 8 o'clock. Speaking of blacking out at 8 o'clock and Eagles fans, in the upcoming 13th season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the creators of the show have announced that the Eagles' Super Bowl victory will be incorporated into the next season of the show. And Eagles center Jason Kelce, the star of the Eagles parade, will be in the episode. So some exciting stuff coming soon from the gang and Philadelphia in general. Also, if this is Darren Sproles' last season, I'm going to hold on to it the best I can, because back when Sproles was a Charger and it was him and LaDainian in the backfield, man, I couldn't get enough of that. Those were some of my happiest times as a fan. So a few days ago, Tony Romo said that he predicts the Green Bay Packers and the Jacksonville Jaguars will face off in the next Super Bowl. Shortly after he said this, the NFL's Instagram page posted a picture of Romo's quote. Then right below the picture in the comments, Tom Brady said, quote, "We will see, Tony. We will see." End of quote. As a fan of this game and these great players, I love seeing shit like this. First off, I think that's a solid prediction from Tony Romo. A healthy Aaron Rodgers can do some damage to any team. And that Jacksonville defense might be the best defense in the NFL. So I could see that. I know I said the Patriots won't win a championship this year, but this organization has proved me wrong many times. No one competes, coaches, or plays the way they do. So Tom Brady can keep the dad jokes on Instagram and enjoy being a 5-time Super Bowl champion. In case you haven't already heard, about a week ago, Buffalo Bills running back LaShawn McCoy was accused of beating the shit out of his ex-girlfriend, Delicia Corden, over some jewelry that she suspected he wanted back. According to NFL.com, Corden was beaten and robbed by a black male wearing a black mask and all-black clothing. She claimed either McCoy did this or that he sent someone to do this. The pictures of Corden are awful. There's no doubt she was beaten and robbed by someone. But since these accusations, McCoy has denied any scenario related to him or his peers. Now, recently, Corden and her attorney have said that they are, quote, no longer certain, end of quote, that McCoy was responsible for this violent crime. Man, what an awful situation. I thought for a second that McCoy was in a world of trouble. But it appears he is not the suspect. Anything could happen though. All she said was she is not certain anymore. Whoever did this is truly a piece of shit though. Alright, so on a more positive and football-related note, HBO has recently released a 35-second clip for this year's Hard Knocks trailer starring the Cleveland Browns training camp. Be sure to check that out on our Instagram or Twitter page. If you haven't seen it already, it's just a little 35-second teaser clip. Since we're not filming this podcast, I'm going to give you guys the audio of this trailer real quick because you at least got to hear it. You know, you got fans in it. I'll shut up.
This is our renaissance. Go Browns. D-A-W-G.
I'm a Browns fan for life because it represents my city.
I have two loves in life, and it's my daughter and Cleveland Browns football.
Out in the winter, unable to go to work because you cried because you're happy or you cried because you're sad.
It's a religion for us here.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Oh man, those poor fans. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they win more than 4 games. But even 4 games is an upgrade for how bad they performed over the years. I've said it a bunch of times on and off the show, and I'll say it again. Baker Mayfield is the answer for the Browns. If this team has any hope of succeeding, they need a reliable quarterback. Not necessarily a great quarterback, but a reliable one. Not a cocky addict, not an underdeveloped QB, not someone who never truly proved himself that you cut and your organization ends up paying him $16 million in dead money. Tyrod seems like he can be that reliable quarterback, and I think that's a great start for this new Browns offense. But once Mayfield is truly ready, I think he shows the league why he was the first pick in the draft. You know, you can say what you want about him. He's too short, he's a lunatic, he's Johnny Manziel all over again. But you cannot deny his passion, his intensity, his competitiveness, and his work ethic. No matter what it is, when you really want something, when you really, really want something, as much as you want to breathe, no one can stop you. Mayfield has every opportunity to go out and prove it. You know, that's what I see out of him. I know passion when I see it. I'm a passionate guy myself. So I'm excited to see Mayfield on Hard Knocks along with how this coaching staff operates. They've made so many coaching changes and they've still been so dysfunctional. So it makes me wonder what the hell is the problem besides player performance. Because there's no way it's all on these players. So I am very excited to see Hard Knocks August 7th on HBO. And no, that's not a paid advertisement. I wish. Alright, so some last minute stuff here I want to say. Earl Thomas announced publicly yesterday that he either wants an extension or a trade from the Seattle Seahawks. So it looks like things are just going downhill for Seattle quick. You know, they just lost Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman. That secondary is not looking good. That whole defense doesn't look great. You know, a few episodes ago I said that I think Seattle's still going to be a good defense, but now they're losing all their studs, their leaders, their playmakers on defense. So they could be really suspect coming into 2018. Also yesterday, wide receiver Brandon Cooks just got a 5-year extension worth $80 million, tying him to LA for 6 years at $88 million. That's according to Adam Schefter. That's it for today's episode. I hope y'all are having an eventful offseason. I know I am. You know, it's still summertime, so how bad can it really be? It might be hotter than hell outside. At least that's how it is here in Bel Air, Maryland. But you're alive, and you can get on the internet. So you can always listen to the magic made in the Chaos Studio. Also, if you have any feedback for me or the show, feel free to write a review, leave a comment, tweet us, mail me a letter, or get whatever you want to say tatted on your face like Post Malone, then send it to me. Whatever works for you. Once again, I want to let you know that our raffle contest is coming soon in August. So be sure to stay tuned to our social media accounts on Instagram and Twitter so you can have a free chance at a $50 Visa gift card. Also, subscribe to wherever you listen to this episode at. If you haven't done so already, peace and have a great weekend.